Romance and being in love. Now, I'm not aromantic, so that's not part of this, and I'm not talking about aromantism, so. But when it comes to romance, I definitely support it, but the actual act of being, like, romantic to other people, yeah, absolutely. If you're in a relationship, you should show romance and affection and lovey-doveyness and whatnot to your partner. It's part of being a healthy relationship. Frankly, a relationship without romance and love in it isn't a romance. It's either a for shits and giggles, or it's a fuck buddy. I mean, both are technically okay to have as well, but most people, when they want a relationship, they're looking for the romance. Not always. Some. Me. And personally, yeah. Like, yeah, give me romance. Hell yeah. I want love. I mean, who doesn't? So I'm definitely all for romantic relationships, being romantic to your partners. And I definitely do believe that love is a real thing. I've definitely seen this question pop up an awful lot on whether or not love actually exists at all, which I do find that a kind of a silly thing to ponder about, because of course love exists. Everybody fucking loves. Like, I love my cats. I love Goth. I love the furry fandom. There's a lot of things I love. Sure, when most people say love, they mean like the actual romantic love, but it's not a whole lot different. Automatically assuming that romantic love is immediately different than all other kinds of love is kind of silly and just plain old not right. I mean, sure, usually when you're in romantic love, it's a lot more intense, a lot more emotional, you're a lot more attached. But a lot of people who have, like, pets, it's a very similar thing. Obviously not the same, but it can be quite similar. Probably, like, the biggest problem with love, really, is when you get your heart broke, which everyone can agree pretty much that fucking sucks. I personally haven't had heartbreak, but I imagine it fucking sucks, because why would it be good? But if you want to be, like, romantic to your partner, like, obviously you have to come across to what they particularly like. Some people will love it if you make them a big old bubble bath and throw rose petals in it, the stereotypical shit. Other people will love it if you kick in their door, jump on their chest, and squeeze them super fucking tight. And other people, the only form of romance they want to see is you randomly sending them weird-ass porn just to make them laugh really hard, because the porn is super fucking strange. That shit's fucking hilarious to me. And for some people, yeah, that will qualify as romance. And in, like, regards to me, yeah, I've definitely been in love at least once, but that was when I was, like, much younger. Like, much younger. So it was quite some time ago. And, well, world's memory is not so great. I often don't have the greatest memories, so. But yeah, I've definitely been in love. But I've also been in relationships where it was just kind of for shits and giggles, or it was more just because I could be in a relationship and the other person wanted to be. Probably the area where I definitely find it unhealthy is if you're in a relationship where one person is in love and the other person is just like, hum-da-da-da-da, I'm doing this for fun. No emotions, no strings attached. That's not a healthy thing to be in, because somebody's gonna get hurt, or pissed off. Usually it's worse for the person who's in love. So, generally, if you have those lovey-dovey feelings, or you don't, you probably should tell the other person you're romancing or fucking. You probably should tell them it's just being a fucking decent person to this other person that you're with. That, or be, like, right out of the gates what kind of relationship you're looking for. It should be kind of an obvious thing, but it's not always obvious. And then, one of the things I was requested to talk about with this was, oh my god, I will be right back. My dog just got, like, the fucking shit scared out of him. Anyway, part of what I was requested to talk about with this was if I think it is sad for people who will not, obviously will never get a girlfriend. I'm not going to include part of this comment because you're just being a dick a little bit here with requesting me to talk about this in that way. But anyway, no insult really meant there. My first opinion is there's no such thing as a person who will obviously never, ever get in a relationship. Thinking there is just fucking stupid. There is somebody for basically every single person. I mean, Hitler got a wife. It's just there are obviously people who are far less likely to get into romantic relationships than other people. Now, do I personally find it sad? I'm not them, so I don't really care. I don't find it sad, I don't find it pitiful or anything like that. Sure, I guess it sucks for them, but the only thing I'd really say is if you think you are someone who is unlovable or unlikely to get in a relationship, figure out why and seek to change it. Or you might be one of those people who's just an unlucky bastard. In which case, you're just an unlucky bastard. There's not much you can do. Maybe go out a little bit more. Who knows? Maybe fate will fuck you in the face with something really goddamn wonderful eventually. You don't know. And there's also the simple fact that certain people aren't going to date other people, and certain groups are just inherently less likely to get into relationships. Like, flat out, it's a lot harder for a goth to find a relationship in an area where there's not a lot of goths than it is for, say, a mainstream normal person. Immediately, it's harder. That's to be expected. But that's not inherently a bad thing either. And if the reasons you consider yourself to be less likely to get in a relationship, if you don't think those things are bad, then don't fucking change them just to get a relationship. Be yourself first and foremost. But, especially, I know there are some people that will flat out consider themselves to be completely unlovable, and unworthy of love. That's just mentally unhealthy for you to think, and I'd say seek a therapist with that. Or just figure it out yourself, and then change why you think you're unlovable. Because there's a whole host of reasons some people find themselves unlovable. Some people it's weight, other people it's because they have depression and stuff. And just seek to make yourself better in those regards. But again, I don't think there's a such thing as someone who will never, ever, ever, ever be able to get into a relationship. I don't think there's a such thing as that. Less likely, yeah, but there's no such thing as someone who's never gonna ever get in a relationship. And there are other people, of course, who can get into, every fucking relationship like that, but they fucking suck at relationships. Those people, they need to self-improve too. Because those people often, the relationships don't last very long because they suck at relationships. Even if they've had hundreds of relationships, you can still suck at a relationship. And everyone could improve with this sort of stuff, really. And a lot of it is just simply finding what you like and what likes you back, sometimes. Because some people will just attract broken, fucked up people for no real reason, other than it's just their personal aura, or the way they speak. Or they're just too fucking nice to broken people. And other people will just attract, sugary sweet honey buns. And maybe their personal type is not sugary sweet honey buns. And then there's also the aspect of some people are too fucking picky. And for the most part, I don't think you can be too fucking picky, but you have those certain people who want only their ideal of the perfect lover. There are a lot of people who do have that, whom the only thing they will be willing to date is what they consider perfect for them. That is stupid. You're being stupid. Don't do that. It's dumb. If you're not willing to compromise a little, it's never going to work. Because it doesn't matter who you get in a relationship with, there's almost no chance of them being your absolute perfect. Chances are there's going to be that one little thing, or multiple one little things, that don't mesh well with you, or you don't like. And you have to figure out whether or not that's horrendous, I can't, or whether it's kind of a, meh, okay, whatever, I can deal. For most people, it's going to be a, meh, whatever, I can deal. So, yeah. But, personally, I would like a little bit of romance. That was fucking weird. Personally, I would like a little romantic relationship. Of course. I think most people would. So, yeah, I support romance, and I'm okay with romance, and I believe in romance and being in love and all that shit. I do believe that's very much real. I do feel kind of sad for people that don't believe that's real at all, because first thing that comes to my mind is who hurt you, and why did they hurt you, and why do you think they hurt you? And a lot of it's just maybe do a little bit more self-reflection, and maybe change what you believe is the definition of romance and being in love. Because some people, they think the definition is what they see on cheesy romance movies, and that's usually not. Cheesy romance movies are almost never close to reality whatsoever. At all, 90% of the time. So don't rely on those to be like, here's what you should do. Ha 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 ha. So, yeah.